Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I bring you a video tonight titled, Is She Selling You a Union or a Contract? It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to the book that I don't have beside me tonight, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Life-changing, groundbreaking books that are going to take you exactly where you want to be in the dating space. Get my books. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. Is she selling you a union or a contract? Now, this is a unique piece of subject matter, but it was brought about by a conversation that I had tonight with one of my good friends. And he had just dealt with a older woman earlier in the day. And she was asking him if she washed up. Now, she's gorgeous because my homeboy only deals with them bad joints, you know. And he was a safe space for her to, voice some things that have been troubling her. And she's getting older. She was 39, pushing 40. And obviously the response from men is not the same as when she was younger. So she's still keeping herself looking good, but at the same time, the responses from men are different because she's getting older. And she asked my homeboy if she was washed up. And this was the kicker right here, and this is what really brought the video about tonight. She made up in her mind that, of course, she wanted to be married. Most women want to be married, whether they admit it or not. But her way of going about getting married, it kind of troubled my homeboy, and he gave her some game. In her mind, she wants to be married, and she's not going to give a man the complete marriage experience, meaning she's not going to give all of herself until she knows that the man is committed in the magnitude in the institution of marriage. And my homeboy gave her some good game. He told her that you can't attract a husband unless you are giving him a husband experience before he proposes to you. And of course, me being me, I acknowledged that he gave her some great game, but I had another layer of understanding and contribution to her sentiment. And I'll pick it up through my interpretation of what he said and what she said. So as you're aging as a woman, it's very vital that you give the man a better experience because men are naturally going to be looking towards younger women. So she understood that she was losing traction in the dating game, but she made up in her mind that she still had the same leverage that she had when she was younger, meaning that she could give parts of herself to men and men would still be present. But that day had come and gone. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, the best to ever do it, the Godfather. You won't always be alive, man. Rest in peace. He gave us the danger zone, which was 27 to 35. And then he gave us no man's land, which was 36 and beyond because there's no quality men there. And he laid the precedent in the blueprint for women to get men as they get older is you have to give the man an elevated experience. You have to give him an experience, a glimpse into what he's going to experience with you if he proposes to you. That's the elevated experience as a woman is getting older that she has to give to every quality man that she desires. An older woman, no matter how good she looks, doesn't have the leverage. She doesn't have the leverage to dangle certain things in front of men and think that she's going to use a false leverage that she's lost to bring them to her side to get the experience that she wants to get from these men. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So me having the next layer and level of understanding in response to what she said, a quality woman is not going to sell you a contract. She's not going to sell you a contract. If a woman has a layered understanding of offerings that she wants from a man before she fully gives herself to that man and hopes that she's going to get a ring. If she's giving herself in layers, it's because she's a fragmented woman who's not whole. A woman who is whole is the woman that's going to sell you a union. And she's not really selling you anything. She's just presenting herself and not being afraid to give herself. And she will withdraw herself if what she's giving is not coming back to her. So a quality woman, she trusts herself. She's not going to give herself to a quality man in increments. She's going to give herself to a quality man in accordance with her inspiration of how she wants to give herself to that particular man. If she desires a man and that man has been showing up the right way, then it doesn't matter about the time and space that she's been interacting with this man. She's going to go with her own inspiration because she trusts herself. She trusts herself as a quality woman that as she's inspired to give parts of herself, she's going to give those with no thought of, I need to withhold something that I'm inspired to give. The two cannot coexist. The two cannot coexist. So a woman cannot sell you a union and a contract at the same time. The contract is, I'm going to make you do things in order to get certain things from me. The union is, I'm going to give all of myself to you in accordance with my inspiration and give you the freedom to choose whether you want to be with me. And she's going to keep an eye for balance, meaning that she's going to give herself to you because she's inspired by you. She desires you in that way. She's going to give herself to you, but she's going to keep an eye open for balance. She's unafraid to give herself to you the way that she's inspired to give herself to you, because she will withdraw herself if she's not getting back what she's giving. That is a quality woman. She's selling you a union. She's voluntarily giving you a glimpse into what it's going to be like to be with her. She's inspired. Her presence is going to inspire you if it's going to remain. So she's not afraid to give herself because she understands that the man that wants her the way that she wants him, he's going to be giving himself in the same capacity. That is the best union to enter. But if a woman is giving herself to you in increments and she's essentially introducing a contract, this is the danger of the contract. I'm going to give parts of myself to you until I get all of you. That's a contract. And anything that is contractual, there are agreements that have to be adhered to. Anything that's freely given through inspiration, there are no precepts. There are just the acknowledgement of the experience that we're given to one another. And we've both seen it over time enough to understand that we want each other the same way and we're a safe space to enter into a union. So the contract that a woman sells you is her bargaining parts of herself. And if she's bargaining parts of yourself before you get down on one knee, guess what's going to happen when you marry this woman? Everything is going to be contractual. Everything is going to be, it's contractual and it's conditional. And you never want to be in a conditional situation because you're going to always have to do more to keep the woman because she's always looking for more to give more of herself. That's a contract. 80% of married men enter into a contract. And the evidence of this is that 80% of women initiate divorces. 80% of women initiate divorces. And if they're initiating a divorce, there's something that the man agreed to do that he's not doing. Or she never desired the man in the capacity of a healthy marriage anyway. He was a placeholder. So he had a false contract with himself because he didn't know and love himself enough to engage with a woman that wanted him the same way that he wanted her. So the contract goes both ways. A man can voluntarily introduce a false contract because he accepts her fragmented self and her requirements in order for her to give her whole self to him. So he has a mismanaged and imbalanced and false contract with himself if he can accept a woman who's giving herself to him in increments for her to give her whole self to him. Those increments never escape. They never change. If you enter the contract that she's presenting, then you're always going to have to do something to keep her. When you enter a union, all you have to do is be your inspired self and give of yourself as this woman across from you has inspired you to give of yourself. And she's giving of herself in accordance with how she's inspired to give of herself, and because she's inspired by your presence and her desire for you to give herself in that way with no fear. She'll give herself to you in fullness because she's inspired to. She doesn't do this with every man, but she's inspired to give the parts of herself that are a window into what you're going to get when you have a lifetime with her. She's not holding anything back. She's not saying, oh, I'm not going to cook for this man until we're married. Oh, I'm not going to give him head until we're married. All the crazy shit that they come up with when they're selling themselves to you in increments and introducing a contract to you. A union is fluidity of mutual desire and exploration for one another. That's a union. And the union is in place before the man gets on one knee if he does it the right way. He's looking at this woman and understanding that she's giving him an experience that he would like to experience for the rest of his life. She didn't withhold parts of herself. She fearlessly gave her whole self in inspiration and left it up to the man to decide if that's enough. And that man wanted her the same way, and he was giving of himself the same way. And so he naturally didn't withhold parts of himself. So two whole individuals came together. When two individuals engage in a contract, parts of themselves are given to each other. Two fragmented beings who don't love themselves enough and who don't have an awareness of themselves enough to trust themselves that they are enough. That's the contract. That's the contract right there. But the contract always has parameters. It always requires offerings. And it's never satisfactory because the contract is offered because a person does not have a contract with themselves. If you have a contract with yourself, you trust yourself. You trust the person that you've become, and you're not going to withhold parts of yourself in hopes of inspiring someone to give you more. A contract with yourself says, I am enough. A contract with yourself says, I will give in accordance with what I'm inspired to give. And when you have a contract with yourself, then you're poised to enter a healthy union. If you have a contract with yourself, you're selling a union. If you don't have a contract with yourself, you're selling a contract. And so many men have suffered because they entered into a contract instead of a union. And the fallout is that woman saying, you didn't give enough. I accepted your ring. I may have had your kids, but you didn't give enough. And you didn't give enough because there was nothing that you could ever do that was a representation of enough. It was conditional. A union is effortless. A union has zero expectations of expecting more. A union is I'm satisfied with what I gave to you because I was inspired to give it, and I'm satisfied with what's coming back. That's a union. And so you have to be very cognizant of whether a woman is selling you a union or a contract. They can only sell one of the two. And you have to decide what's being sold to you. Especially as the woman is getting older. As the woman is getting older, she's not out of the game because she's aging. She's lost traction, but she's not out of the game because the young woman a lot of times thinks that she's going to be young forever. She thinks that everything that comes along with being a young, gorgeous woman is going to last forever. And it doesn't. So she gets a rude awakening. She is 28, and she gets a rude awakening like, oh, something's changing. Like, I can't treat men any kind of way anymore, and they're sticking around. And the guys my age, oh, shit, they're dating younger women, the attractive ones. And so it changes. Life comes at you hard as a woman. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, but with that woman getting older, you know, in conjunction with the conversation that I had tonight with my boy, her leverage is not trying to sell you a contract. She has to give you a glimpse of what it's going to look like to be with her in order for you to choose her. That is her reality. That's her reality. And if she's not in tune and she's not accepting of her reality, she's going to offer you fragments. But the problem is that the sexually attractive men that these older, gorgeous women want, they don't accept fragments. You have to give them a whole experience because there's less of him and more of you. How many societally deemed beautiful women can we point at that are single as hell? And so they're going through life thinking that they can fragment themselves and not accepting that they're getting older and they're just as single as they've ever been. And then they're not accepting that there are women who are less attractive than her that are getting quality men. And they haven't been able to reconcile that these less attractive women are more attractive than them because these women are not withholding themselves from men. They're not giving fragments. They're giving their whole self. And they're not afraid to lose these men. They say, hey, I like you. We have a connection. I'm attracted to you. I'm inspired. Let me give you a window into what it's like to be with me. Let me give you a window. And then the man across from her, he's attracted to her enough. They've connected because she's consistent in the union that she's selling to him. And he says, okay, you are my best option. I'm not settling. You're giving me an experience that's congruent with the experience that I'm giving to you. We are not fragmented. We are giving our whole selves to each other in fearlessness. And then those two people come together. And then you have those group of older, extremely beautiful women in packs looking at the quote unquote less attractive woman and that sexually attractive quality man that she has. They're like, how the hell did she get him? Easily. She didn't withhold parts of herself. She saw once she was inspired, she wasn't a pick-me. That man showed up in her space the right way. And she didn't fragment herself or require things of that man. She acknowledged that he showed up the right way. And she gave her whole self. He got a glimpse into what his future would look like with her. And he gave his whole self as well. Because marriage is the proposition of the man. Marriage is the decision of the man. So he was inspired because he gave his inspired offering. She gave her inspired offering. And they both liked what they saw. And the man was the catalyst to move the marriage forward. And he got down on one knee. That's when you enter a union. That's when you don't end up on the wrong side of divorce like 80% of married men do. So that's all I wanted to put before you tonight. Women are either selling you a union or a contract. It's that simple. And you don't blame women if you end up in a contract. You blame yourself because you were just as fragmented as she was. And some of you all might be have gone through divorces or going through divorces. Hey, men, we don't have a fertility clock. You can get your ass in the gym. You can eat better. You can take care of your health. I don't care how much older you're getting. You can recreate yourself. You can become a better man who makes better decisions and get better outcomes. So some of you can really relate to what I'm saying and acknowledge the mistakes that you've made, but use this as a catalyst and an opportunity to make better decisions. to get better outcomes. As a man, you have to take personal responsibility for every outcome in your life. So you don't blame women because you accepted a contract because you didn't have a contract with yourself. You don't blame women. You made a bad decision, but time is on your side. If you're breathing, you haven't aged out. Time is on your side. Recreate yourself. Learn from your experiences. Learn from your mistakes. And trust yourself enough to give your whole self to another woman. It might be difficult. You may have been upended, devastated, lost some things. But if you're true to who you are in your full masculinity, you can recreate it. You cannot be taken from you. Material things can be taken from you. Yeah, you might pay some child support, some alimony, but the essence of your ability to improve as a man cannot be taken from you. You can be better than you've ever been. You can absorb every blow that your bad decision gave you and still prosper. I ain't got no more for you, man. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you a message tonight. Just talking about she's selling you a union or a contract. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to my book that I don't have beside me. Someone bought it right off my couch a couple nights ago, man. How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And everyone who comments, you know I get right back to you. I love staying engaged in the chat, in the comments. And you all are still asking me to make custom videos on particular topics in my comments. You're asking me to make these videos that you want me to talk about. Make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Leave your subject matter that you want me to talk about in the note feature that is on PayPal and in Cash App. You make a donation of $50 or more with the note. And then I will put your video, your custom topic video, on my channel in 24 hours or less. Your topic may be more in-depth than just leaving a note. You still make your donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App. And then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com if your subject matter that you want me to speak about is more in-depth than just leaving a note. I have your video on my channel in 24 hours or less. And if my message has been of value to you, this particular message in this video, if it's been of value to you, and your thought processes are elevated, you have more clarity, you have understanding, and maybe you even experience some breakthroughs, make a donation to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Your donations I'm thankful for. They continue to help me to go as I continue to stay present and help you to continue to elevate and grow as well. Thank you to everyone who's been making your donations. And if you're in need of coaching, don't forget to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. I will do an assessment and get right back to you with the terms of the coaching. And if you accept the terms, then we will set the time for the coaching to begin immediately. Everything is streamlined. Everything is simple over here. I'm still looking, okay, aside from the coaching. People who have been getting coaching have been inquiring about more in-depth mentorship outside of the coaching. I'm still taking on 5 people who want to get mentorship from me for the duration of a year, okay? It's gonna be very hands-on. I'm gonna do an assessment of exactly where you are and where you want to go. And I'm your catalyst to take you there. You give me a year, your life will completely change. I promise you that. So if you're interested in that, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. And just let me know that you're interested in the year-long mentorship offering that I'm offering. I only have the bandwidth and the space for 5 people, okay? I'm still filling the slots up. There are still slots available. Make sure you email me and just let me know your name, your phone number, and the place that you want to go over the next year, and I will get back with you. Just like I do with the coaching, I'll get back with you and determine if we're a good fit to work with one another, and then let's make this thing happen for a year. Your life will completely change, I promise you. Lastly, my school community, my dating community, Matthew C. Horne Dating Community, which is an aside from YouTube. It's the school community, okay? Thank you for everyone who's been signing up. I'm so thankful, and everyone in that community has been getting extreme value. What I offer is 2 exclusive new videos a week that are exclusive just for members. And I also offer 1 Zoom call per week. Every Monday, we've been having some great conversations on there. Every Monday, we get on Zoom for an hour. We send you the link, and we all just talk. I do a monologue. I have a particular topic. People can ask me questions, and then whatever's going on in your life, you have complete access to me for that hour. No one is excluded, everyone is included, and everyone is getting breakthroughs in that particular space. And all of my Zooms, they're archived as well. So once you join the membership, you're going to get all of the archived videos that I've been making, as well as the Zoom calls that I've been having as well. And you have access to the weekly Zoom as well. This is direct access to me. You get your answers in real time. It's an amazing space, amazing things that happen. So look at the link that I'm going to have in the video description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You can sign up for my school community, the monthly membership, and let's make that magic happen. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight, and just understand that women are selling you unions or contracts, and your recognition of what they're selling you is based on the recognition of yourself that you have as a man. Never be afraid to give as you're inspired to give, and understand that the woman who is a representation of your exact match is going to be giving to you in the same manner. And you all are going to see each other over time and easily determine that this is a union worth exploring. I'll see you all soon.